don't need another training. What you need is a funeral, and not one for your team, definitely not one for your boss, but for that amateur version of you that still lives inside. You know, that version of you that still blames the market, that's waiting for energy, that hides behind being busy instead of being effective. Because war room leaders, if you've felt this before and just struggled because you didn't quite know how to break through or didn't quite know how to get that level of consistency that you've been looking for, it's not about tools, it's about identity. And the day you turn pro, things will never be the same again. I'm Chris Hunsicker, and this is the Dealership War Room. Leadership Fire, 7 minutes, built daily, fueled intentionally, and delivered relentlessly. And today, I want to speak to this point that I and so many others speak about, which is the power of identity. But I want to move from theory to practice and then to mastery. And in this episode, we are going to dive deep into specifically how do you build the identity of a world-class leader. And it starts with understanding how to turn pro. Let me take you back to a conversation that I will never forget. Now, this was right when I had finished doing my coach certification with the Heroic Group and Brian Johnson, and I had just finished reading Steven Pressfield's book, Turning Pro. And if you haven't read this book, I strongly recommend you do. As a matter of fact, even if you're halfway through a book right now, close it, bookmark it, put it aside, and start reading Turning Pro. And it's a book that I would recommend you either read or listen to every single year. It is that important, it is that good. So I'm sitting at dinner with this sales manager, and we're going to call him Alex. And Alex has his hands around his cup of coffee. He's looking up at me as we finish our dinner conversation, and just this weary tiredness in his eyes. And he said, Chris, I am stuck. I am so tired of playing small. I am working 60 hours a week, and I still don't know what it takes to get through to my team. It just feels like I'm reacting and I'm surviving and I'm going through day to day. But this is nothing like I thought it would be when I became a sales manager. And we'd been working together for several months now, and this was the moment for me. And this is what I said: you haven't turned pro. I then smiled and said, yet. He said, what do you mean? I said, you haven't chosen to turn pro yet. Because you see, in that book, Steven Pressfield draws a line in the sand, and he talks about two groups of people: amateurs who are hoping for better days, hoping things are going to get better, and pros who choose better days through hard work no matter what. So turning pro is not about your title. It's about your mindset. It's about that moment that you stop negotiating with your excuses. You bury the old story and you build a new one. So here's the good news. Turning pro is free, but it is not without cost. You see, you will have to bury the comfort of blaming others. You'll have to lose the identity of the victim. And you will have to absolutely give up the belief that someday is going to save you. Because when you turn pro, you coach, even when you're tired. You prep for all the meetings. You make the calls, even the ones that you're scared to make. And probably most importantly, you stop performing for approval and you start producing for impact. The difference is this: amateurs need motivation. Pros build discipline. And this moment right now could be the moment that changes everything. In his book, Turning Pro, Steven Pressfield says this: what exactly are the qualities that define us as pros? We show up every day, and we show up no matter what. We stay on the job all day. We are committed over the long haul. The stakes for us are high and real. We accept remuneration for our labor because we're worth it. We do not over-identify with our jobs. We master the techniques of our jobs and our craft, and we have a sense of humor about everything we do. We receive praise or blame in the real world. What we get when we turn pro is we get our power and our will and our voice and our self-respect. And we become who we've always been, but until then had been afraid to embrace and accept. Almost everyone I know remembers exactly where they were on 9/11. And I promise you that you will always remember where you were on the day you decided to turn pro. So here's your War Room challenge, and I call this the mirror moment: how to burn the amateur. Step one is we're going to write a eulogy for the version of you that's been dabbling or playing small or been inconsistent. In other words, the amateur. We are literally going to write the eulogy for the amateur version of you. Call it out, be honest, and be clear. Here lies the version of me that blamed the desk, the day, the team, the traffic, the DMS. The one who waited for things to get better instead of getting better himself. He meant well, but he played small, and now he's gone. Step two, declare your pro identity in one sentence. I'm the kind of leader who shows up before it's easy and stays until it's done. Say it out loud, declare it, post it, because pros don't rise by mood, they rise by decision. If today's episode hit hard, good, it's supposed to. One of the great secrets of life is that life is supposed to be hard. Success is supposed to be hard. Anything that is good and worthwhile is supposed to be hard, from marriage to mission. Please hear me when I say this. You are not broken. You have just been acting like an amateur. And unfortunately, you usually do it at the worst possible moments. Let that part of you die. And if you know someone else that needs to kill off their amateur and they need to write a eulogy, please share this podcast with them. Share this video with them and let them go through this exercise themselves. Because tomorrow, we're going to dive into the real enemy, which is resistance. And I'm going to show you how to eat that out before you even finish breakfast. So today, let's go out, create some leadership fire, and I'll see you tomorrow in the Dealership War Room.